The Civil War was a defining moment for the United States, and even though the last shot was fired in 1865, the outcome of the war still has an effect on Americans to this day. For more, we are joined by April Holm. She is the Schwartz Postdoctoral Fellow at the New School for Social Research. April, thanks for being with us today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so 150 years later, we still see reenactments. We still see new books and documentaries coming out about the Civil War. Why is it so fascinating?
Well, I think the thing about the Civil War is that it had such inherent drama to it. I mean, the fact that you had brother fighting against brother, people arrayed, countrymen arrayed against each other, fighting each other, and of course, also the thing important to remember about the Civil War is it marked the end of slavery in the United States, and that is another incredibly dramatic and important turning point in American history.
Yeah, no doubt. While it does fascinate, it does infuriate others as well, because, I mean, just take this for example. Last year there were 2 U.S. governors who elected to have April as the Confederate Heritage Month. And, some people said, you know what, this is representing slavery. That's what the Confederacy represents. But many are saying, no, no, no. This is Southern pride. This is honoring fallen heroes. So, I mean, is that a fair debate when people look back at the Civil War?
Well, I think one of the real challenges is, of course, that people want to honor and commemorate those who fought and died on both sides. And one of the points where there really are debates is often comes up around surrounding anniversaries and commemorations of battles, soldiers, leaders who have died. But the thing that I think is really important to remember about the war, and the thing that people both North and South can celebrate, is that it did preserve this nation and the Union of the States, and brought about the end of slavery, and that's something I think Americans can agree it's a good thing.
Yeah, those are definitely some big topics that surrounded the war. Why is it so important for people to understand the details of it? I mean, how does it apply to our lives today?
Well, the Civil War actually was a real turning point in American history, and there are 3 major ways that it continues to shape the United States today. One of those is that really the consolidation of the power of a strong federal government came from fighting the Civil War. In fact, this is sort of topical. The first income tax was created during the Civil War in the North to fund the war. So the sort of modern government we have today actually came out of the war. And also our economy was also shaped, moving away from the sort of agricultural economy of the South and sort of industrialization of the North. And then, of course, the expansion of freedom. They not only resulted in the abolition of slavery, but also the 3 Reconstruction Amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to our Constitution, laid the groundwork for civil liberties to come in the years after the war.
You have studied this through and through. What's the most fascinating thing about the Civil War to you?
Well, I am really drawn to those, the human drama of ordinary people caught up in this tremendous event. One thing that really fascinates me is the way that enslaved people in the South took the opportunity of the chaos of the war to run from their plantations and seek their freedom, and go out there and force the question of slavery onto the North, and make that part of the challenge of the war to end making the debate over slavery something that was central to the war aims for the North. And
it definitely shaped America, no doubt. As we mentioned, there's been over 60,000 books on the Civil War. Is there anything new that we're learning today about what happened 150 years ago?
Well, a lot of it is sort of revisiting from different angles and wondering whether or not things could have gone differently. But there are new things to learn, and some of those new directions do come from taking a look at ordinary people's lives, the experience of people living who are caught up in the battle, living on the battlefield, and the experience of ordinary soldiers. These very brave men who fought and died in the war, and that's an area recently that people have been turning to understand. Moving away from just studying the great leaders to also looking at the ordinary people's experience.
Right. A lot of lives went into it. What was it? 600,000 Americans were killed.
Tremendous loss of life.
War, and you can't forget that. All right, April Holm from the New School for Social Research. Thanks so much for your insight. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.